Alright, today I'm going to see about changing out a refrigeration unit on my side-by-side and a Norcold 1200 refrigerator. This unit's 25 years old, and we're going to replace it with a new Omnis made cooling unit. And we're going to go, first step is, anyway, here's what we have. A Norcold 1200, what we have, 1201, 1210, 1211. HVAC dual, we're replacing it with a dual compressor with universal controller. This is coming from up in Indiana, I believe. So anyway, the first step is going to be go to the inside of the unit. Hopefully the camera is bright enough on this side. I've already got the refrigerator pulled out, as you can already see. The first step is to pull out screws in the back of the unit. This is the freezer compartment. We have 4 screws in each side. Freezer. There we go. Got those 4 out. Swapping over to the left-hand side. So we've got that. This unit does have the ice maker in it, which I'm going to remove. We never use it. So I am going to remove that unit. Go down here to the refrigerator portion. See if we can do the same thing down here. Essentially just going to remove all the screws that holds the cooling unit on. Alright, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 7 screws in that unit, which we have removed. Let's move her back around to the other side again. On this side, we're gonna, hopefully you can see, I'll be working on. Let's see if I can zoom in down here. I don't know if you can see it or not. We're gonna remove some wires and gizmos off the control boards and all down bottom. See if we can get these things out of our way. Unplugging the LP solenoid valve from the control board. We know we're not using that. Power wire unplugged. Plug the other power wire. Unplug the AC powers. Bit out to 1/4 inch. By the way, those inside bits was 5/16. That's a new upgrade they put on many years ago. Go ahead and remove the water solenoid valve. We won't be reusing it, since I'm not going to reuse the water ice maker. If you are going to reuse the ice maker, make sure you label your wires, what went to where, just for your personal reference. AC plug. We will no longer use it. We can undo the AC gas line. Go ahead and remove our old drain pan. Yeah. Get back up top here. A couple of wires we can undo. Leave the wires there, and I'm going to come back down. I've seen it has some cooling fans that's been installed. in. Just to get them out of the way, make everything a little lighter. Maybe. Alright, let's see if we can pull this unit out. Now I'm going to change our bits out to the 5/16. Those two screws. I only have a couple of screws up top. Still holding. What we need to do is cut this foil tape. Goes around the unit here. Try to cut that all the way around. We'll undo this wiring harness. We'll try it and see if it's ready. I think we're ready to pull it out. It's disconnected. From the cooling unit. They're gonna sort of lift up and out. This whole unit should come out of the refrigerator. They had to cut some more here and there. Grab it by the big line right here. There it goes. Give it some quick jerks, sort of upward and outward motion. There we go. And this is the old cooling unit. Pull out the drain hose. Up. Good. There is the picture of the back. The refrigerator. Which we will be cleaning this up. And anybody wanted to know the back of the old cooling unit looked like. Get the camera around here. Here is the back of the old cooling unit. Maybe a wider view there. Anyway, something like that. That's just embedded in foam. Got a couple little steps there, indentation where it sets into the unit itself. So I believe I'll take a break and we'll come back and we'll clean this up. Forgot to record me doing this, but this is installing the caulk. It's a heat conductive thermomastic. Goes in the caulk gun and place a small bead of thermomastic in this fashion. You need to use the whole tube. And there's a picture of the new coil where it zigzags back and forth through the styrofoam. And basically all you do is run your bead of caulk right across the top of the exposed coil. As you can see here, that's exactly what I did. I just went back and forth and covered up the coils with a bead of caulk. And then I carefully installed it into the unit itself. And that's what connects essentially the evaporator to the cold plate inside your freezer, and down here to the fins for your refrigerator. That's what transfers the coldness from the evaporator to the inside of your freezer and freezer. It's a pretty simple step. Had to do that. Did that after I trimmed up the foam, pre-fit everything, lined up all the holes, did all the dirty work. Had a lot of trimming to do on the left side of my freezer to make the holes line up. I had to trim about 3/4 of an inch off. Depth and the width to make it fit and line up. So that's the coils, and that's domestic caulk, or heat conducting caulk that you put across the top of the coils. So So when you bolt it together, sandwich everything tight, it makes a good connection. So hope that explains that step. We have test fit the unit in the hole. We did run a screwdriver lining everything up. I put a screwdriver, dropped a screwdriver through that hole here where the temperature sensor goes, and use that to line everything up. I had to shave off a good bit off this edge, 2 different layers, to get it to line up. So I got it all lined up. I've run the screws in from the inside. The 4 on this side, the 3 on this side. 1, 2, 3. Did not put one here. Temperature sensor goes in it. Cleaned everything up. Test fitted it. Screwed everything down. Now we're putting our spray foam around the outside edge to seal everything up. There was a considerable gap down bottom and on that right side on the back. That had to be filled in. I can now tell you, 1 can was not enough. So I am going to have to go buy another can. Like I said, this side I had an inch and a half, same way down the bottom, that I had to fill. So we're off to the store. Alright, I'm going to try to trim off the excess with a serrated knife. That usually trims fairly easy. we got all this trimmed out nice where we can tape it. The tape just basically makes it look pretty. Here's some of the silver foil tape that they sent with us, or with the kit. Starting to look pretty good. I'm not going to tape that. They said this foil tape is basically for appearance. It may be, but I think if you make your job looks good, then it just looks like you did a better job. Take pride in your work. And I did wash and wipe everything down really well. This is where the old control wires went through for the ice maker, which I've eliminated since I decided not to reutilize the ice maker. We never used it. So I decided to eliminate it. Just my personal preference. I went ahead and filled that area up with the foam while I was foaming everything. It does look like I have run out of tape. I'll have to go grab some more. That's the tape that comes with the kit. So I'm going to go, I'd have some more. So I will go grab some more tape and then we'll continue on. We're back at it. Got some more foil tape, a different brand. Natasha brand. We're going to go ahead and finish taping this. Just to make it look nice and pretty. We're using my fingernail to. It had like a little plastic squeegee you could probably utilize to make this work better. Just going to cover up that white tape there from the end of that other roll I was using previously. Like I said, just cosmetics. Makes your job look good. Let's do us a strip across the top. I'm going to go right here. Maybe one more strip. Might finish it out. Perfect. Let me come around the edge. Just to make it look really nice. The better it looks, the better it's going to work. Isn't that right? Seal everything up really well. Nothing else. Take pride in your work. Make everything look good. I believe we've got everything sealed up pretty well here. Put a strip across there. Just because we can. Said, make your work look nice. Bingo. I said I'm not going to worry about that. Could run a piece of tape across our wire here just to hide it and secure it in place. Keep it from moving. Think I will, think I will. Just because I can. Sometimes this stuff is aggravating to work with. There it goes. I'm going to leave it some slack at top here. Yeah, that won't never pull through that, so nah. Okay. There's what she looks like. Up close. Nice and clean. All the way around. Other than the big glob we put around the lines there. Really nice install. We go down here, we can look at the components on the compressor. We've got, there again, I taped everything up. I even taped up the old holes on the back. Here's your condensers. As a 12-volt fan, bottom of that condenser, 12-volt fan on the bottom of this condenser. I did go ahead and mount the drain pan in there and run my drain hose, which this unit, drain hose is up behind there. Run the wire out in about the same location. This unit did not have a hole pre-drilled in this location for the drain hose, but like I said, there was about 1.5 inches space where this did not fit. I had to fill it up with a foam, so I had plenty of room for the drain hose to slide straight out, which it did. Come out right behind. You can't see it. Oh, up there you can. The drain hose come out and runs behind the lines and down. Well, pops out over here, back around and into the drain. We got one compressor. If you wanted to see interesting part numbers, what have you on it there. If you can see the part numbers or not. One in here's the Dutch Air part number or serial number. But that's the dual compressor. It has a little box off to the side on both of the compressors. One there. That comes pre-wired. Get the wires out here. It requires a 10 gauge wire coming from your batteries, which will wire up to here. We'll work on that next. It's positive and you ground, negative. And your wires coming from the control, which is here. We'll start working on that in the next step. See if we can wire this up. And then we'll slide the whole refrigerator unit back in the hole. Hook up the main 12-volt to it. And hopefully it works. Also on this unit, I did add a screw in this location here to mount the frame to the refrigerator. Also back here in the bottom corner, I'll put a screw, and up a little bit higher, another screw here to attach the frame of the unit to the freezer box itself. But that's the install so far. Everything's taped up. Looking really nice. Dual compressor, 12-volt, the old Norcold 1200, which when I noticed I took this thing apart, it actually was labeled 1210 on the mechanical refrigeration unit. Still have the 1200. and I may be putting a kit together. I'll use parts off this thing and be selling that as used components for if anybody needs any electronics or such for theirs. We'll box everything up, even including the ice maker. And so maybe it'll help somebody. Alright, I think we've got it pretty much sealed up. I did run all the wiring. Down to the compressors. I did put some of this protective stuff, wire wrapped on the hose or wire. If it makes that too thick, I don't think it will. I can always move it up into this area or down into here, because it does stick out beyond the compressor about 1 inch. So all I have left now is to hook up the power. Once we get this thing slid back in the hole, I did find a bad connection. The positive wire here going into the camera don't want to focus, going into the box controller or whatever the apparatus is. The red wire was crimped, but it wasn't crimped on the wire. The wire was not into the connector. So I redid that connector. So make sure you check all the factory connections. Make sure they're good and tight, because I found one that was not. The other two, the wires on the small refrigerator compressor, seem to be good. I have cleaned my gasket. It goes around the seal. That goes where it mounts into the hole. And what I have done is I put a new seal, but I mounted it on my frame where it mounts into the hole. I don't know why, I just did it that way instead of having it that was stuck to that little flange there. So I should get a nice new seal on the in between the refrigerator and my living space. That's what blocks any cold or hot air getting into your living space, in between the refrigerator and that outside unit that the refrigerator is encased in. So let me get my 4-jack back in the unit here, and we'll see if we can jack this thing up and get her in place. Well, here's the refrigerator back in the cabinet like it should be. Open it up. There is the controller. There's 2 fans on it, starting out at 80 degrees. Nice little setup. We'll keep an eye on it, see what it does. Finish putting the thing back together. Just cleaning it out. The freezer. And you see the temperature sender I put in it. Comes out of the back wall. Got a 3D printed little bracket that mounts it on the bottom rail. Pretty deep little freezers. But that is it. It cut that together pretty good. Slid right in a hole. Thing looks fine. We'll walk outside here and show you the outside portion. There's what the outside of it looks like. It put together pretty good. 12-volt wires coming in. All I had to do is make the connection over here. And I stuck the wires up that direction. Turn everything on. Turn everything on. It's the outside unit. Nice clean install. Thing's looking pretty good. That wire is the wire for my heater thermostat. But everything looks pretty good in this area so far. If it will get cold and freeze ice cream, I believe I will be happy. So that is it. That's your Dutch Air. Dutch Air quality dual compressor. JC Refrigeration LC. There you go. So hopefully it worked. So we got two compressors in there, one for the refrigerator, one for the freezer, two condenser, one for the refrigerator, one for the freezer. We'll